Hey family, so this is Samantha from the Samantha X Show, or whatever I'm going to call it. I haven't figured out a name yet, but I had to do this. I had to talk about this. I just heard a story about a black mother of 5 who was killed. They said it was an accidental death. She fell off a balcony. Not buying that story, of course. Not in this racial climate, not in America. It's no way. It doesn't even sound right. So the background of it, okay, so what happened was, I don't even know how she knows these women. And I'm going to assume everybody there was white except her, because I saw the video, even though they blur people's faces out, everybody looked like they were white except her. So she was there apparently with 7 other women, and it was supposed to be an all women's slumber party. And then at some point, I guess 3 white men showed up. So now you got 7 white women and 3 white men at this supposedly all women's summer party. I don't know what the white men were showing up for. They did not explain it. I'm like, were they the entertainment? Was this? So they said it was a women's birthday party. And I'm just like, I have so many questions. Like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, the first question I have is, I didn't know grown-ups had slumber parties. I seen it on TV, like on Love and Hip Hop, or what was it, like Real Housewives or whatever. I don't really watch those reality shows, but it looked ignorant then, and it sounds ignorant now. Like, I don't even let my kids go to slumber parties and their children. I used to think it was like a kid's thing. I finally gave in when my son was like older, but I really didn't want him to go at all. But I didn't want, so, as a parent, you'd be like, I feel like sometimes your kids gonna be like, okay, you didn't let me have no fun. But people crazy. I'm sorry, they're crazy. I don't trust people. You got pedophiles, you got racists, you got every time I turn around it's something else. So I can count on one hand how many slumber parties my sons have been to that was not family. So anyway, so she was at the slumber party with all these white people. And these 3 white guys walk in. And I'm like, why didn't you leave when these 3 white guys came over? Like, they weren't supposed to be there. It sounds to me like something that I would be uncomfortable with. If I'm at a slumber party, let's pretend I'm going to a slumber party, which I know I'm never going to do that as an adult with friends. Like, I will go to my family's house. We don't call it a slumber party. I'll probably spend the night at my sister's house if I'm like going on vacation and I'm, coming in from out of town or something. I may stay the night or whatever because I'm not paying for the hotel costs. But just to be staying at someone else's house, just to be staying at somebody's house, no, we're not doing that. Not friends and random people. So so I'm going to try to tell the story first before I put my commentary, because I'm just very angry about this. So basically what happened was, the next day they called the police, right? Even though she had supposedly died at night, I guess they're claiming they all were asleep. She was drinking so much. I don't know if I believe that, but apparently she was drinking so much. They're trying to imply that she fell off the balcony. Okay, so they didn't call it like the next morning because I guess they're saying we were asleep, we woke up, she was dead. She had fell over the side of the balcony. The story sounds like a complete joke, like a hot mess. It just sounds like a joke. Like, there's no way. It doesn't even sound right. So, because I'm like, at some point, like, why is she the only one awake? Usually when you go to parties as an adult, you're partying, like, you're having fun. When everybody goes to sleep, everybody goes to sleep. I don't know why she would be up by herself drinking where no one's seen what happened to her. I could see if she was up with somebody and that happened, but they didn't say that she was up with anybody. She just up by herself just drinking. Doesn't make sense. So basically they did no investigation. Let's be real. They're white. It's in Forsyth County, Georgia. Okay. Do I need to say any more? But Oprah actually did a show highlighting the racism in Forsyth County, Georgia in the 80s. We now have Trump as president, guys, and we know he wants to make America great again. So basically, we've gone back to how racist this country was. So it's basically like we're living in the 60s or the 80s or whatever right now in 2019. And my thing is, like, So nobody did an investigation. They just quickly came and ruled it as an accidental death. Didn't really give any real details. Like, oh, how the hell do you know? They always saying something's an accidental death or suicide. There's never really any real, investigation. So the family, the black woman's family, her name was Tamla Harris, I think. Don't give me the line, guys, because I can't remember her last name, but I know it's like Tamla, and she had like 3 names. I think it was Waldorf Harrison or something along those lines. So her husband, he spoke out. He said it sounds fishy. He doesn't believe the story. I don't think anyone does. They all, and the crazy thing is, like, racism, white supremacy, like, white people feel like they're so in control of everything that they don't even have to make sense. Because half the time they don't make any damn sense. And they don't care. Like, they're not going to give you any extra explanation. They're going to say what they said, and they're done with the situation. So, just remember that, black people. So, we're out here. We got to protect ourselves. We're here. We only got each other. We all we got. That's the reality of it. Because if something happens to you, these law enforcement are not going to protect you. They're not going to be on your side. They ain't worried about you. So, so the husband voiced his opinion that he doesn't believe that's what happened to her, that it was an accident. He feels like she was murdered, I think. And the family hired their own private pathologist, and he or she, I can't remember, I don't know if it was a girl or a guy or a woman, but they found that she had injuries that seemed to appear to happen after she was already dead. So what they believe happened is that she was killed because her face was also showed signs of, being beaten. And they feel that she was murdered and then thrown over the side of the balcony to make it look like she fell. And I'm like, seriously, like, I've seen enough IDTV to know that if you do a real investigation, you could tell if somebody fell on their own, or if they were like pushed, or if they were thrown. Like, they're gonna do, if they did a real investigation, like using a dummy or whatever, like I've seen in other cases, they can determine if how that person fell. Was it them just falling on their own? I mean, we're assuming this woman's inebriated and everything, so she's gonna kind of just fall over. She ain't gonna be too far from the balcony, like she jumped and fell over. So it's like, if someone throws you over, you'd probably be further away from the back of the house than if you just fell over the railing. So now I can say my commentary, people. I want to say right now, I'm really angry that another black person is dead. I'm at the point now where I'm starting to look at black folks like, what are you doing? Because if it was a rape victim or anyone else, people will go to victim shaming, right? They'll be saying she shouldn't have worn that dress, or she should have known not to go home with that guy. She doesn't know him. They would be saying these things, and to some degree, they'd be right? At some point, as an adult, even as a child, kids know sometimes what's right and what's wrong. Like, don't get in cars with strangers. If people tell you what not to do and you still go do it, at some point, you're going to have to be held accountable for your actions. There's too much going on in this world right now, in this country especially, for people to be like going on as business as usual. You need to be more high alert. You need to be more aware of the situations that you're putting yourself in. There's no way in hell in 2019 I'm going to an all-white slumber party as a grown woman drinking. I don't know who she knew there. How close was she with the people? Like, did she know them for years? Was it a coworker? These are details that didn't really come out. Did she know she was in one of the most racist counties in America? Where just in Oprah's show, they said the N-word like 3, 4, 5 times in like the maybe 1 minute that I saw a segment of her show. The guy was rocking KKK, white power t-shirt. They throwing the Confederate flag around. This is overt, blatant racism. That's the county she was in. It ain't no like subtle, we keeping it under wraps. No, they was real with it. Like, we're racist. We don't like the N-words. They don't belong here. Why did they come here? Did she know she was in that county? Did she do any kind of research? Did she live there in that county? Did she know? Did she know where she lives in America with 3 Ks? So, I'm going to say it like this because I love my people. All I can say is y'all need to be safe out there. Be careful. Be vigilant. Make smart choices. You're adults. You have children and people depending on you. You cannot afford to be doing dumb shit. You cannot afford to be out partying like we ain't at war with white folks, with white supremacy. Come on now. You should be getting serious about what you need to get done. And her husband, I'm gonna throw this out there. I don't even know if she was black American because her husband had they look Somalian to me a little bit. Like her hair was different, her complexion was lighter, and her husband had an accent, like a Somali accent. So I don't know. So this is just a little bit of my speculation. So I'm sometimes when I see people that are not black American, especially if they got a little nice hair texture, they think their hair is closer to white people's, and they got a little light skin. They think they're not subject to the same things that other black people gonna go through, especially if they're not from America. They think, well, you guys are black. We're not. I'm not black. I'm Somalian, or I'm Ethiopian, or whatever. And it's like, white supremacy doesn't care. They colonized everywhere on this planet. Like they don't care what color you are. Like they don't care what name you're calling yourself. If you're not white, it ain't right to them. Okay. So then, even if you black, if you're a black person, they don't care if you're Hispanic, if you're gay, if you there's a lot of stuff they don't care for it. So I just felt like did she think because she wasn't a black American she was exempt? And that's what I keep feeling like. I feel like people who are biracial, who are not from America, there's just certain gay, if they're gay and black. I just feel like there's certain groups that feel like this doesn't apply to me. I'm gonna fight for other things. If you're black, your fight should be black first, because that's what's under attack. Other things may be under attack, but when people see you, they don't know where you're from. They don't know your sexual orientation. They don't know if you're a Christian or a Muslim. They don't know your religion preference. You know what I'm saying? Like, all they see is a black person. And 9 times out of 10, they're attacking you based on your blackness. So if that's the thing that's the enemy is basing their hatred on you towards, like, that's the thing you need to be fighting for, is to protect the fact that you're black. So that's all I wanted to say. I don't like making long videos. Keep this one short. I'm just really upset. Oh, you also wanted to speak on Jussie Smollett really quickly too. Oh, Jussie. Because as I was talking about her, the woman, Tamla, who just passed, who was murdered. She was murdered. I was thinking about Jussie because I'm like, what was he doing? Right? Yeah, what were you doing, Jussie Smollett? Like, I feel so like a weird sadness for him because he's black, he's a male. I have 5 black sons. So I have a little place in my heart for that. But just that he's black and the stuff he's going through. And I'm just like, what was he doing? And they said he was mad because he didn't get the money he wanted to get on the show he's on. And I don't know. But I'm sad that they're doing this to him because I know they wouldn't do this. If this was a white person, they would not be arrested. They would just be like, don't do that again and go home. Go home, Jimmy Bun Bob, Billy Bob. But because I'm looking at this woman who lied on Emmett Till, they never arrested her silly ass, and you got someone killed. Jussie Smollett lied and put himself under this attack, and no one died or anything. And I mean, the thing I could say, the only negative thing I could see out of this situation to me is that it was offensive. Like, don't play with being gay or black. I'm gonna say black or gay. Like, don't play with what we go through, like our hate crimes, to get some publicity. That's kind of like pretending you were raped because you're mad that a guy you want to date doesn't want you. Don't use victims' pain and our experiences to justify your fuckery. Like, don't be like, I'm gonna do this so I can get some attention or some sympathy. I should get paid more money. No. And that's the thing with celebrities. They're very selfish, I feel. Like, they really don't fight for black rights and, like, speak out. But, like, when they need it to benefit them, they'll suddenly be singing about it. Or if they don't get an award, now they're speaking out. It's because I'm black, and they want people to boycott the Oscars with them because they didn't get an award. Where were you at when Trayvon Martin was killed? Where was your big mouth on your big platform speaking out when all these black bodies are being murdered, unarmed, children being murdered, black children being murdered, black girls and boys being traumatized and attacked in these schools, these racist schools? Like, I just read a story just this morning about Virginia. Oh, Virginia. You're always doing something, aren't you? I actually grew up in Virginia. My family's from Alabama, but I was born in Alabama, but I grew up in Virginia since I was like 7 years old. And I'm disgusted that I'm from a state that has a governor who recently was exposed for being in blackface back in his college days. And he was in a picture with a guy wearing a KKK outfit. Then the attorney general, I believe, came out, and then he was exposed as also having blackface. I mean, then they went through the yearbooks, and it was like, apparently that was the thing to do. Everybody was in blackface or KKK outfits. Just showing their true colors, right? Their true racist colors. And so he didn't go nowhere. There were black people telling him they wanted to stay. Boy, bye. Get your ass out of office. And then it's crazy because while they were focused on him, they tried to turn it around on Justin Fairfax, the black guy, the assistant governor who was supposed to step up and take his place if he resigns. And they talking about him having some alleged sexual assault charge. Boy, child by. They busted out this old ass story where nothing was found out of it. Nothing. He was charged for nothing. Nothing was happening. No evidence. No nothing, like always, like Bill Cosby. And then they drug up some other random ass female. I'm like, come on. This shit is so obvious and it's so whack. Can't get no hard evidence to save your damn life. Like, Bill Cosby's in jail for what? Like, what evidence was ever shown? Then these old ass cases from back in the 60s. Any nasty draws with some semen on them? Like, do we have anything? I watch IDTV and I don't see them locking up anybody until they can get some hard evidence. Just because you got 100 dusty ass women coming about the cut, which majority of them admitted they lied. And why did I know that one drug addict model was going to put herself in it? I sometimes I feel like I'm psychic. I think black people have these special, senses and powers and, of course, connection with the universe and God. We're very spiritual people. And I knew that, what was her name? Candace Wilkerson or something. She was on some reality show. She's desperate. She's a has-been. I don't know if she's ever been to begin with. But something told me she's going to bring her dusty, musty tail out of nowhere and claim he did something to her bony self. And then I think the person that actually brought him down looked like a man. I can't deal with it. So, yeah, it's just a lot of fuckery going on, guys. I'm like, please stop acting like business as usual. It ain't business as usual. Stuff is real out here. Okay? So take care of yourselves and each other until I talk to you guys again. Peace, love, and light. I'm gone. Bye.